Hello everybody, it's John Johnston with Corn Nation, here with a quick reaction to yesterday's decision by the NCAA to approve a one-time transfer in 5 major sports. Those sports are baseball, football, men's and women's basketball, and ice hockey. And since the majority of you watching are probably Husker fans, we're really talking about football. I mean, Fred Hoiberger is building the basketball program through transfers, which could work out pretty well. But let's really look at football. Is this going to become the Wild West? Is this a radical change? Is this just maniacal? Whatever happened to commitment? I don't think this is that big a deal. What it is a further movement in the recognition by the NCAA that the student athletes probably have more power than they've ever had. And it's been a long time coming. I don't really see anything bad about it. Could it become the Wild West? I don't think so. There are a huge number of players in the transfer portals, and it's probably likely that a lot of them are not going to find a new home, and they're going to be, a lot of them are going to disappear and never be heard from again by anyone but their families and close friends. And, that's life sometimes. But I do think that this is a part of a bigger strategy by the NCAA. And I'll tell you why that is. Whenever you're doing negotiations with somebody, you come up with a list of demands, or maybe if you're not so pushy, a list of talking points or discussion points about what you want out of the negotiation. Now, if you're a good negotiator, you're going to be putting some things on that list that you know that you're not that concerned about, that you're going to give away, because it gives you the appearance of being a good, that you're not so one-sided and that you're not just trying to run over whoever you're negotiating with. And I think in this case, really what the NCAA is really terrified of is name, image, and likeness coming through. And this is a way to placate people for a while and say, well, look what we gave you. We gave you the one-time transfer rule. Shouldn't that be enough for now? Because they really want to put off this whole nil thing for as long as possible, because God forbid you give people the right to determine their own destination. I know we have a tendency to look at this and go, well, what about commitment? If you go to the wrong school and you know it's the wrong school, it's not any different than you taking a job and staying in that job even though you know it's the wrong job. You should quit and go get another job. There's also this mindset that, people should never quit and you should finish what you started. That's kind of bullshit too. If you're miserable, you should quit what you're doing and go do something else. And sometimes people need to start over, or they need to start in a new place, and they might have success or be better off. This is especially true. I mean, during this pandemic, so many of these kids got recruited by Zoom visits, and they never got to actually see where they were going. And maybe this is a way to make up for it. It is a permanent change. I thought initially, okay, it was just for this year, but it's not. It's going to be the rules from here on out. And I do think it makes for a more fair system, especially when it comes to the athletes. I mean, if the NCAA is going to say they care about student athletes, maybe it's time to actually show that. I don't think that there's really any way to stop the name, image, and likeness thing. I think there's a famous quote that says there's nothing quite so powerful as an idea whose time has come. And I think the name, image, and likeness thing is an idea whose time has come, and it's just a matter of time before they have to give up and give in. And you may ask, why now? Why after all these years? Why after over 100 years really of the NCAA? When it was formed with the idea that we would use free labor as student athletes and amateurism to make shit tons of money. Why now? I think it's largely because of the disparity between the top and the bottom. When you look at For example, how much football coaches are getting paid a year? What is Scott Frost, $5 million a year? Nick Saban, $84 bazillion a year. And you compare that to a student athlete who is getting a free scholarship. Some of them, not certainly men's baseball, some of them get stipend, room and board, and you go, well, isn't that enough? Yeah, it's compensation, but look what this guy's getting. Why is this guy getting this much? Why are we building Taj Mahals as athletic facilities? And really what happens when you get that big, huge disparity in there, that's where people get upset and revolutions start. And I think the name, image, likeness thing, this is one component of it, the one-time transfer rule. It's one small piece, part of a larger push to get more rights for student athletes, but which is going to come sooner or later. I think that's it for now. I hope you're well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Remember, if you don't love you, nobody else will either. That's my life coach tip. I should charge for that or something. Nah, it's free because I'm a generous guy. Thanks for listening. Bye.